Welcome back for episode 15 of Focus Fire Chat, recorded live on January 30th, 2016. This is your host, Blue Crew 86. Alongside me, we have our resident art guru, an upcoming YouTube sensation and co-host, Justin Sane 0516.
Woo!
Next up is the third member of our merry little band, a man who some know as the lore version of a shoehorn, Steamin' Willy Beeman.
And some know our main host Blue here as the Grandmaster Elf.
Hey, try to live up to the expectations. The topic of today's chat is going to be a dive into the lore behind the Nine. However, before we get into that, I want to run through some quick show notes. Our last chat was over the War Mines. If you missed that and have any interest in hearing our thoughts, please be sure to check out our Podbean site at focusfirechat.podbean.com for archives of all previous chats. You can also find us on iTunes by searching for Focus Fire Chat in the podcast section of the Apple Store. If you guys don't mind, go ahead and give us a review there if you use that program. As many of you already know, Focus Fire Chat is a cross-community gathering where the intent is to offer a week-long in-depth view of a particular subject from within the lore of Destiny. This chat begins every Tuesday morning and runs until the following Tuesday, with topics decided by the group via a poll that begins every Friday and ends on the Tuesday morning of the new chat. Every Wednesday at around 10 p.m. Central, usually, we get together to stream a recap of the previous week's chat for those who are unable to participate. The topic of next week's chat will be an examination of the Titan class. Now, with that done, let us accept that we are ill-equipped to understand entities that defy simple causality and proceed with the subject of this chat, the Nine. I'm going to hand it over to Justin and Willy to start looking at what do we know about the Nine.
This will be short.
Got plenty of things here. I do have right here the category definition itself from Ishtar, which I think is pretty accurate. It says, the Nine, a mysterious group based in the Jovians, the worlds beyond the reef. Their agent Zur sells powerful items for an unusual currency and is able to travel freely between the tower and the reef. It is unknown whether his presence is permitted. When the Queen of the Reef Crows trespassed into the Nine's territory, she gave them Skolas as a gift. For reasons unknown, the Nine released Skolas and restored his catch, instigating the rebirth of the House of Wolves. And with that, I think Legends 2 is a great place to go personally, but I'll let Justin take it away there.
Yeah, no, it's worth noting too, the Nine are intrinsically linked with the planet Jupiter. What you're going to notice throughout the night is multiple references to the term Jovian, and Jovian literally means of Jupiter. Originally it meant the god Jupiter, like the Roman god Jupiter, but in science fiction we believe it to be the term we would use to describe a being from Jupiter. So that seems to be their home base.
Smarty Pants fact tonight, actually.
Oh, let's
right
see
after
it.
You read Ghost Fragment Legends 2.
I'm on it.
If you don't have it, I got it, but I'd rather you read it because
I'm on it because this is my favorite. This is my favorite card in all the Grimoire because it's a slap in the face. It's a slap in the face to everybody right here. Ghost Fragments Legend 2. The Nine are survivors of the Cis Jovian colonies who made the compact with an alien force to ensure their own survival. The Nine are deep orbit war minds who weathered the collapse in hardened stealth platforms. The Nine are ancient Leviathan intelligences from the seas of Europa, or the hydrocarbon pits of Titan. The Nine arrived on a mysterious transmission from the direction of the Corona Borealis supercluster. The Nine are the firstborn awoken, and their minds race down the field lines of the Jupiter Io flux tube. The Nine are ghosts who pierced the deep black without a ship and meditated on the hissing silence of the heliopause. The Nine are the aspects of the darkness, broken by the traveler's rebuke, working to destroy us from within. The Nine is a viral language of pure meaning. The Nine are the shadows left by the annihilation of a transcendent shape, burned into the weft of what is. Contradicting statements.
But indeed.
Well,
now, fun facts about this card, Cis Jovian. I looked that up when we first started discussing the 9. That turns out that means they're beyond Jupiter. So that first one, the 9s are survivors of a cis-Jovian colonies that made a compact with an alien force to ensure their own survival. That means that's beyond Jupiter. How far beyond,
Well,
we don't know.
What doesn't cis... Wait, hang on.
Wait, cis means this
close.
side of.
Yeah, closer to the sun than Jupiter.
No. I'm telling you. Look it up.
I am
Google
looking it up
right now.
Cis is on the side of.
No,
All right,
Willy,
well, shut your mouth. I'm right about this next one for sure. This next one I got. When it says the 9 are ancient Leviathan intelligence from the seas of Europa, or the hydrocarbon pits of Titan, Titan is one of Jupiter's moons. Correct me on that. I dare you.
That
you're
is
good.
correct.
Yeah. That one I looked up as well.
No,
I remembered it correctly.
No, I just wanted to say cis would be this side of Jupiter. Trans would be the other side of Jupiter. So if they were trans-Jovian colonies, they'd be the other side. Cis
Yeah,
would be this
I have
side.
to look that up myself every single time because I always flip them.
Yeah, exactly.
But yeah, they have 9 different... And I have a theory about this, actually.
Right, I was going to say, there's a couple different
all the
readings
Zur
of it.
quotes, like, there's something hinted here. But go ahead, Blue.
I was just going to say, one of the predominant theories that we had about this card in the chat, and I actually kind of agree with it, is that it's an interesting... So this card is called Legends 2. To me, it actually is kind of a collection of legends, like, of rumors. So this to me is like a... I don't know if you guys ever played D&D, but or even DM'd a game of D&D, but like when you're doing like a gather information check as a DM, you get like, if you're doing a preform mission, usually they have like snippets of what's like conversations, and this is what, to me, that's what that reads like. It's like snippets of conversations that if, you know, your player characters rolled a certain number, this would be what they would overhear, and it has a random scattering. So they're not all meant to be true. They're just, you know, these are what people's thought. This is what people's thoughts are of the 9 in the universe that we play in. That's that's how I read it. And I know there was a couple people who had that same kind of approach to it. So,
let me just state how I kind of see it. I have a really crazy theory about it, which we can talk about later. But the more practical application, which I've got about it, is this. This seems to me to be 9 different... Oh, crap. Can y'all hear me?
yep.
Yes.
Yeah,
okay,
you're
cool.
gonna,
I'm sorry.
You haven't
Everything
been potatoed yet.
Everything dropped. No, this seems to be like a hearsay card. Like they just polled 9 people on the street and said, what are the 9? And we take so much of the Grimoire like it's just written in stone, because we're so desperate for anything to be spelled out for us that when we do get something written down, we're so desperate for it to be concrete. So we're like fundamentalists in this sense. Like, you know, like a religious fundamentalist reads the Bible and sees this is the word, this is what it says, this is what it is. Someone with a little bit more interpretation to him would say, no, this is a parable. It means it's a metaphor for this. So I think sometimes we might get too literal with it. This might just be conflicting accounts of what the 9 may be from imperfect sources. That's just an idea.
All right, now my take on this card, because we have a bunch of interesting little flavor quotes from Zur, one of which is, bodies come and go, but the cells remember. And if they forget, the 9 remember it for us. And then he has another one that I'm not finding in the notes here, but there is one where he says something along the lines of, some of the cells are from here. It is strange to be back. He says something of that nature while being on Earth.
Yeah,
now,
give me a second. I'll pull
that could be the thing about the 9. What if they are all of these things, and they have, you know, they have makeshift bodies like Zur does?
Well, and that was, you know, I guess we can kind of touch on that too, is that was, I think Laura made the point, there are 9 different definitions. What if this is one for each 9? assuming that the 9 are actually 9 different entities. There's that.
They're 9 different entities, but they're the same entity.
Well, and there's also a nod. I can't remember where I read it, but there's a nod to Dune in the 9. The name the 9. There's a race in the Frank Herbert's Dune that is the 9, and it's I'll try to dig it up here in a second, but the name the 9 doesn't necessitate that there are 9 entities. It could be a species, just like the Awoken, but that we haven't met yet.
Yeah. We tend to think of a council of 9, don't we?
Right. Most people make that assumption, and the more I've started thinking about it, I'm like, I don't know if that's really an accurate assumption. The quote is, "Some of the cells of this body began on this world. How strange to return."
Yeah, and that's what I'm saying though. Some of the cells, like in Zer talks about how his body's his body.
Mm-hmm.
But he has these cells that make him up. What if the 9 are like the leader of the Jovians, which everybody assumes Zer is? Even if he's not Jovian, he's a pretty special character that stands out to you in the world of anything with the tentacles just flopping off of his face, and
right.
we're not going to keep going there, but what if that's pretty much the 9 is either leaders, but more likely a leader, because you have the 9, which 9 is capitalized, and then you have Payan, which is capitalized. So
God. Shoehorn time.
Yep, that's exactly what that was.
Just like Payan is capitalized, the 9 is always capitalized. So what if the 9 is like the chief, the commander, the president, the ruler, of Zer's fancy little race made up of apparently different races? Because if some of the cells originate on Earth, some of his cells have to be human, or at least from Earth. Could be awoken, I guess.
Carbon-based, you would think.
Yeah, carbon-based would be even more likely, just because that would cover possibly
it's pretty broad.
Wider
yeah, it's
range.
Pretty broad.
Yeah, exactly. So, but, it could just be like his chieftain is the 9, rather than it being 9 species. But we spent a good amount of time on this card in our spin foil. Wow.
Yeah, we're going to come back to
yet.
this one. We're going to come back to this one, and I feel like there's a lot more talking to do on this one in spin foil mode. But if we're just trying to get through what we know that there's 9 conflicting accounts of what the 9 are, and it's not really clear if any one of them is true. Can we all agree on that?
Yes.
Okay, cool.
Any or all. Dun dun dun.
Which card do you think is the logical one to go to from here?
I would say we can jump the last half of the Queen, Ghost Fragment the Queen, is the one that I kind of think makes a lot of sense too, because it shows the relationship that exists between the Reef Awoken and the 9. Let me see. Let me catch up where I had made my note here. So this is Ghost Fragment the Queen, and it's about halfway down, whereas the point that I'm gonna make here starts. It says, "More of your brother's crows have entered the cauldrons of Rhea. The witch directly before her spoke with a dry buzz. The 9 do not approve." She stopped a moment to study the sealed face of a cell. The cloud of her breath mingled with the slow exhalation of psionics. "Send them one of our prizes, something to commemorate our mutual victory. And which one of your prisoners would you gift?" If she paused to think, it was only for an instant. "Send them Skolas." A lovely gesture. She cocked her head as if listening for a frozen heartbeat. "And remind them this: the crows are mine." it's an interesting thing for a couple points, and there's a couple different people have made different aspects of this as pointed out. First off, obviously, she's not really afraid of the Nine. I mean, she recognizes the Nine. This is the Queen Morosov. She recognizes the Nine as being someone at least to consider what she's doing, because usually she doesn't seem to pause a bunch. She just kind of acts. So here she actually thinks about what she's sending them, if only for an instant. So she's not afraid of the Nine necessarily, but she recognizes that they are at least as powerful as she is, which is kind of the message that I'm getting from this. But it's also interesting because the Cauldrons of Rhea Rhea is a moon on Saturn. And so obviously the crows, which are a drone-like squad, I guess. I don't know really what they're basically robots that Aldrin...
But they have feathers.
No, they don't have feathers.
It does say they have feathers. Black
Do
feathers.
they have feathers?
Black feathers.
Remember.
Yeah, they do, but...
Oh. Well, the crows... Well, I always thought the crows were the little drone things that were buzzing around when Aldrin, crashed and stuff.
Pretty much.
I always thought they were... I thought they were robots.
He does call them crow drones, so they aren't exactly crows
typical... Right, and she sends
Earth
the crows
nature.
to Mercury and to Earth as messengers.
Yeah, so I mean, obviously they're not your typical crows.
You're not, yeah.
But there's something special because they're like robots with feathers.
Yeah.
Right. And so Rhea is a moon on Saturn, and so there's a giant. It's the second largest moon of Saturn, and just a minor trivia fact: 9th largest moon in the solar system. It's actually the second smallest body in the solar system after Ceres, which is an asteroid and dwarf planet. And if I remember correctly, Rhea is actually believed to be a solid ice. Well, it's shelled in ice, and it's believed to be a solid ocean. There's actually a couple theories that it doesn't have a core. The core is just a giant slush ocean. So that it's an interesting planetoid. But the cauldron is on the surface, and so apparently this is something that the Nine... There's a territorial dispute, because she kind of nods, okay, yeah, sure, that's whatever, we're trespassing, but those crows are mine, don't touch them, is kind of the message that was getting sent. And it was interesting too, because it says your brother's crows have entered the cauldrons, but then she says to remind them that the crows are mine. So it's almost like she's taking the blame off Aldrin and shouldering it for herself, is what I kind of got out of that.
That's the same way I felt about it. She's like, hey, these weren't my brother's crows. These were my crows that were there.
Right, even though they were her brothers.
Yeah.
I mean, yeah, that's true. Yeah.
Everything to do with the Awoken is hers.
Right.
Yeah. No, also, Penn's had a great point. Rhea is also the queen of the Titans in Greek mythology. And very, very interesting. Rhea is the Titaness daughter of the earth goddess Gaia and the sky god Uranus. And she's the sister and wife to Cronus, which is kind of creepy. But
yeah, Cronus was kind of insane. He liked nom-nomming children.
This is like really crazy too. Is she's strongly associated with Gaia and Cybele, who, if you've heard any of the Fallen type of Grimoire or our episode or Bife's videos, Cybele is a heavily linked Fallen character. But yeah, so Rhea is a pretty important character in Greek mythology, which
jumping off that, we know that Zur has a comment about the Nine, in which he says, "I cannot explain what the Nine are. They are very large. I cannot explain. The fault is mine, not yours." And then we also have the Legends 2, where I think it was Legends 2, where it says they're Leviathan intelligences, which Leviathan obviously is a giant creature. I mean, so it's an interesting nod there too, as well. If Rhea being the Queen of Titans, Titans, which I'll get into that whole fun spinfoil there too.
Pain
Continue.
is a Titan confirmed.
Oh God.
All right. I believe next we were going to discuss the mystery Fate of Skolas,
Mm-hmm.
which is the card where it shows that, well, I guess we'll find out as we go along.
Hit it, Willy.
Cell cracks open. Skolas, Wolfkill, stumbles out and crashes to his knees. He tries to leap at the creature before him, the shape in the fog, to show it why it should be afraid. But the weight of grief smashes his legs against the cell. The rage upon him beats him to the floor. He falls on all four hands, his mighty armor thundering against itself. His house of wolves is enslaved. His people have been played. And it was his hubris, his cunning, his would-be cunning that did it. While the other houses fought for their future on Earth, throwing themselves at the great machine, Skolas wasted his people in the games of betrayal and ambition. Bitter pride brought a bitter end. If Skolas were a Kell, he would ask his Archon to dock him. Either hisses in his mask and it tastes so cold. So cold. He looks up at a tiny hooded shape before him. The cell's mist clearing, he can see. I believe that I am here, the creature says. To Skolas' ear it has a strange voice, a strange accent. It speaks his language. I have a clear purpose. I cannot explain it. Forgive me. From beneath its hood, tiny fingers of shadow probe the air. Skolas rises up to smash it, to show its strength, because the alternative to violence is waiting for violence to come from a universe that has neither respect nor compassion. But he checks himself. His ambitions have brought him here, to this cell in this strange place. Only it's not so strange, is it? It's the hold of the catch. The Queen, he says to the thing. You work for the Queen. The Nine have made me aware of my purpose, the creature says. If I am here, then it is because the Queen sent you to the Nine, and they wish you sent back. I will do no one else's work. Skolas has been a pawn long enough. A Drake told him once that she would play in a game as long as the game made sense. Nothing makes sense now except the thought of Varrix's throat shattering in his fist. Varrix. Varrix the utterly disloyal. Varrix who should be wielded into a catch's pro atom by atom and left there as a figurehead to burn away. I am comfortable, the creature with the moving face says. A part of me wants to go somewhere warm. Now I will certainly tell you what you have been given. Skolas looks at the shrapnel gun in his hands. Skolas imagines what he would do with it if he could reach Varrix, or the brother of the Queen, or the alien Queen. Will it save anything they've lost? The world's docked from them? No. It cannot change the past. Only the future. Only the chance that his people might one day know themselves as more as the pirates and scavengers. As he should have never tried to be the Kell of wolves. He should have tried to be the Kell of everything. Everything wants to kill his people. The machines and the militants and the green-eyed hive. The dead soldiers that hoard the great machine and come out crusading to wipe all hope away. The ship will be yours, the creature says as it haunches over itself, as if burdened by its own shape. If you speak, you will be heard. I will go now. You are free. He tries to follow it. He fails. Somehow it is gone. He goes up to the throne room and sets its weapon down on the great seat. Skolas, Kell of Kells, goes to his ship's comm and looks for the sign of a servitor, for a way to plot the course. Bada boom. If that ain't Zer, who the hell is it? I'm just saying.
Right.
Yeah, I mean, it just, and that just speaks more about Zer not really knowing what the hell he's doing. Like,
Well, he's an Ottoman. I mean,
Yeah.
or Autonoman. Like he is just a satellite for them to order around.
Yeah, it almost
He's
seems like he's just their puppet, you know.
he's
Like,
their ancilla
Mm-hmm.
to make Pins happy.
Yep.
there you go. Like you read
But
this and
well,
then
I
you
mean,
read his quotes. I mean,
well, actually, let's go. Hang on. Actually, no, because ancillas tended to have a bit of sentience on their own. Like they could do things on their own. Zur doesn't seem to be able to do much. Like
but he
he,
does do things.
no, that's
not.
wrong. That's wrong, Blue.
I
Because
mean,
he disappoints me every week, and I think he does that solo. Still don't have Twilight Garrison. Just sell it.
I'm just saying. Come on, give us Twilight Garrison, sir.
Yeah,
I have plenty of strange coins for you, buddy.
he is a dumb AI, not a smart AI. That is.
Yeah, but that's not an ancilla. That's a dumb AI. An Sure, yeah. Pins. Yep.
Oh.
All right. Last card that we really have that kind of concretely ties into the 9 is the Prison of Elders card, which basically summarizes it all up. It says the 9 are active in the reef and have limitless curiosity. Let me see where that was. Because it's a pretty short card. I'll just read it real quick. So this is the Grimoire card for categories of the 9. It's Prison of Elders. It says Varys the Loyal remembers an ancient time and an ancient name, the House of Judgment, when grudges and status fights were worked out in a safe place, when the berserk and the vengeance crazed were kept somewhere harmless, and there were fewer rivals to plot around. The old fallen ways align perfectly with the Queen's agenda. With the House of Wolves in disarray, the Queen needs muscles in the reef. Guardians go where the treasure and the glory are, and an arena of champions is a wonderful place to earn both. Guardians in the reef deter threats to the Queen and give the Awoken a chance to learn about their power and subvert their loyalty to the Traveler. And if, as the Queen worries, the 9 are scheming against her, then she needs a good excuse to clear out some of the most dangerous prizes in the Prison of Elders. And the Prison of Elders is full of dangerous prizes. The Awoken have captured titanically dangerous specimens from everywhere in the inner solar system. These monstrous champions want to smash Guardian Bone and Guardian Alloy, and given the chance, they'll kill Guardians, rend their ghosts, and snuff them out forever. Walk into the arena with a fire team you trust, and beware, the agents of the 9 are active in the reef, and their curiosity is as limitless as it is inscrutable. Risk death, win glory, and signs of Her Majesty's favor, but always remember that you are being watched and tested. So, I mean, just the main point of that card in regards to the 9 is that they have more than one agent.
Minds, yeah.
Yes. Yeah, sorry, we're not Holtzman. We can't do the
Oh, that was so good.
But so the thing that stands out to me on this one is, first off, agents is not singular, it's plural. So Zur is not the only agent that we could run into, which to me is a big hello. There are more people out there than we know, which we all kind of knew, but just it's a reiteration of that. As well as it hints that the 9 aren't all-knowing, because if they were all-knowing, they wouldn't be as curious as they are about the Prison of Elders and how the Guardians handle the battles within there. It also points to the theory that, the 9 released Skolas. I think there's a theory out there that says the 9 released Skolas in order to wed the Reef and the Tower back together in order to prepare for Oryx.
I'm a fan of that one.
I am as well. I think that it was kind of very well orchestrated by the 9. I think that they were not the only ones orchestrating things, obviously, but I think that theory has a lot of merit, just personally. But so that was another thing to me that stood out there as well. And yes, Pins is giving me a nod to go ahead and make the point of, there's a big tie-in between the Reef and the 9 and Osiris, and one of those tie-ins is this really cool guy who's blind and hangs out there and has a really fun PvP setting on the weekends called the Trials of Osiris. Brother Vance has actually a couple interesting comments about the Nine. One of them being Osiris stood before the Nine on the ice fields of Europa, but the time wasn't right. And then another one, which kind of nods to the theory that we were just kind of tossing back and forth, was they say the Nine released Skolas. No doubt they had their reasons, but it brought you here, and they may yet regret that. So that was, it almost sounds like he's kind of like, oh, that was an unintended consequence.
Yeah, and
Yeah, well, go ahead,
no, go ahead. I was just gonna say Osiris might be the only guardian to ever actually stand before the Nine. According,
This is true.
Knowingly.
Yeah, exactly.
But then you got to look at too. I mean, if you want to get technical, there is the one that I am looking for right now that I had pulled up just for this.
There's Eris.
For the urn of sacrifice. That's what I was going to say,
Yep.
Blue. The Nine hold many answers. If Eris trusts you, then so must the Nine. That's sure.
Oh my gosh, that led into such a fun spinfoil theory.
It did.
So, do you want to take it or do you want me to?
Go for it.
Okay, so there's a there's a growing number of people who are kind of starting to think that the Nine are sort of non-corporeal worms, not worms in the sense of like Destiny worms, but how do we explain it? We explained it as the gold and the what was the other one? The Stargate. No, I'm probably sounding like a crazy person.
like Kurt Russell.
No, not.
Is that what
Kurt.
you're trying to tell me?
Well, okay,
No,
so
he sounds full
so-
Mel Gibson at this point.
yeah. So in Stargate, there's a worm creature called the Goa'uld that actually infests the brain of the host, right? And it goes into the ear and it takes over the brain. The idea was that, and Damo and I were kind of tossing this back and forth, and it was kind of just a fun spinfoil thing, and then it actually started kind of making scary sense. Because if you start reading some of these quotes, they start sounding like the Nine aren't actually corporeal. Like they don't actually exist on this plane of existence. Brother Vance has the quote that he says, the Nine are vulnerable every moment they touch our world. Zur has multiple comments about how he's like, there's tie-ins to planets. There's the whole bodies come and go, but the cells remember. If they forget, the Nine remember it for us. There's a lot of different, like, random, really weird quotes about the Nine not being physical. And then there's this weird kind of theory that maybe the Nine actually helped Eris in some capacity escape from the Hellmouth. And that's the reason. And she's actually a host of the Nine in the same capacity that Zur is. Which would explain how Zur doesn't really, because he says, I don't have, my will is not my own. I am, what was it? Where was it? I understood my mission when the Nine put it in me, but now I cannot articulate it. Like, and then it was the Nine who gave us purpose. It was the Nine who kept us whole. And, these whole things, it's almost like he's a host for it. And so then, what if there was a common or a theory out there that was like, well, what if Eris is the same as Zur, just not as advanced? Like, what if Eris is becoming what Zur is right now, but just hasn't metamorphosed into it? Dead air. Go.
Crazy.
It was one of those things
quotes.
where it was like, what in God's name are we digging into on the rabbit hole? And then all of a sudden we started finding these quotes that actually kind of made it make sense, and it was just really weird.
Yeah, like this is my first time hearing this because reasons, but that's pretty nuts. It's pretty nuts.
It is pretty nuts. I mean, because I'm looking through Eris quotes, I was hoping that I'd find something. Still, her best quote ever is, "With its dying breath, the traveler created ghosts to open doors." Yeah, like that's one of my favorite quotes from her. But you don't really see. I know that there has to be something because she makes you go get that urn of sacrifice from Zur.
It's funny because doing this topic this week, actually made me really nostalgic because I remember my first conversation with Blue about anything lore related was about the Nine, and it all kind of hinged around. I think the Nine are kind of they operate on a scope so wide that our little kind of petty ideas of good and evil might not even apply. And I kind of liken it to the way that you know, and not that these people are infallible, um, but like the CIA, they do things that are awful, allegedly. Don't come to my house, but
Nope, too late. You're a
but
target.
allegedly, no. I'm just saying, like they sell guns to this side, they sell guns to that side. They have agents working with these people. They have. If we knew everything that they did, it would curl our toes. You know what I mean? Like if we knew every person they had dealings with, which we don't need to know, it would really just knock our socks off. And that's how I view the Nine. Like when you said, is Zer the only agent? You know, this makes us think that there's more than one. I think definitely there's more than one. I mean, there might be an agent of the Nine supplying weapons to the dang hive. Um, I think they move pieces on a chessboard.
Mm-hmm.
To take it back to training day, we're playing checkers, they're playing chess. You know, like they've got a grand design going on, and we're just going one space at a time, trying to win little victories, while the Nine are moving in such larger spheres than us that we can't even comprehend. And I think the metaphor that worked best for me was like, um, when you light a fire to kill a forest fire to suck all the air out. You know, if you were a small animal where the fire was lit, it'd be a disaster. But if you go a larger scale, that little fire that was lit stopped the big fire from eating everything. So I know that's a pretty long tangent, but I think the Nine are on such a large scale that I don't even think we can fathom their intent.
Right.
Well, it even says here, you have the quotes from Zur that Blue so kindly put in the show show notes. I'm only an agent of the Nine. The Nine rule beyond the Jovians. So that shows that they rule. There's our area, there's the reef that just recently became our area, and then there's beyond the Jovians, which, we know Jovian is
Of Jupiter.
Jupiter. So, and we have a couple more quotes in here that I was looking at that I was like, ooh, let's point that out. But let us see here. It is very possible that the Nine intend to help humanity, which once again, I think a lot of people have the theory that the Nine they like to keep the balance between the two sides of the coin, as we like to put it so often, the light and the dark, which is another reason why some people thought that they released Skolas. Personally, I'm more of a fan of, hey, we got to get the reef and the tower working together. What are we going to do? Well, Mara kind of pissed us off anyway. So let's let go of Skolas, the guy she just gave us, and they'll bond over killing that guy. Right? Right, let's do it. That's kind of what I got from out of that. Then Zarek actually says he's a trash collector for the Nine, which I think is interesting because, what does Zur really take from us? He only takes strange coins.
Space cookies.
Space cookies.
Yeah, he takes our space cookies, which we don't get as often as we used to in year one. But, that's his main currency that he takes. And they make him seem so interesting when you look at the space cookie information. If anybody might happen to have that up. If not, I can get it up shortly. But, we know they're warm to the touch. They vibrate in your hand. I am looking for the exact definition for you.
Did anyone get the collector's edition space cookie?
Belgium.
It is not warm to the touch or vibrate in your actual hand.
It makes
That's
me
what
sad.
you're wondering.
Oh, that's
it,
rough.
it says, each coin rings with a faint, sharp hush, as if it has touched the sounds around it with the edge of silence. These could buy incredible things in the right hands. Whispers say the faceless creature who sometimes comes to the tower covets them above all else. So it doesn't actually say it vibrates. It says that it rings.
If you look at it, it almost looks like
No, there is a
Vex.
thing that says
Vex
that it
and Venture.
vibrates, and now you're gonna make me look for it specifically and get rid of this card, but it's totally worth it.
Yeah. The actual
Yeah,
item description.
in the
The
item
actual
description
item,
it says
yeah.
this unusual coin is warm to the touch and vibrates gently in your hand. It used to be obtained by completing weekly challenge activities, but now it's completely random.
And
Willy says that.
just for fun, there was a variant of this strange coin in the Festival of the Lost. That was a chocolate strange coin.
Oh, that was so awesome.
That was
That was so great.
the description of which is dark deliciousness that dissolves into glimmer as you defeat Cabal. Tales are told of a guardian who offered these delicacies to an agent of the Nine. It ended poorly.
Oh my god.
Yeah, somebody got murdered.
I have an image in my head of the face tentacles just reaching out and grabbing him and sucking him inside, and then he was just gone.
Well, there's a
Just
couple
love
other
it.
things we know about the Nine, like any of the materials that you get, whether it be Spirit Bloom, Relic Hour, and whatnot. The emissaries of the Nine accept small quantities of these materials in exchange for their exotic goods. Their ultimate purpose is, as ever, unknown. But then you have Glimmer, which is, many believe that the Nine use Glimmer not as a currency, but as a raw material for their secretive studies, which I found that pretty interesting because I'm pretty sure we discussed it at one point, right? Like where the Glimmer is somewhat similar to the Ether that the Fallen feed off of. It was probably just me that believed it, but
there was that, but there's also the fact that Glimmer is programmable matter. So I find it interesting that they call it out like that, because it almost to me seems like, well, don't we do that with Glimmer? Don't we make things out of Glimmer too? That's why, I mean, it's actually a literal trade good. It's not a currency, it's a trade good. We make things out of Glimmer. I mean, I make fun of Banshee's giant 3D printer over there, but that's exactly what it is. It's a giant Glimmer printer, is what I always consider it.
Glimmer is a commodity, not a currency. It's it's actually both. So it's more akin to, say, gold bullion than it is to a dollar bill. It's something that's actually useful in the real world and used as a type of currency at the same time.
Well, you got to look at the origin of the Glimmer as well, which is also very interesting, which I'm bringing up right now, right here. It says the programmable matter called Glimmer serves as one of the city's basic currencies. With the right inputs and an energy source, Glimmer can be transmuted into nearly anything. This makes it precious to the city's industries and artisans. That value, in turn, makes Glimmer a useful means of exchange, especially with those who venture beyond the city walls. Glimmer passes through an economic lifestyle. Here it is. New Glimmer comes from reclaimed Golden Age stashes in technology, whether a tiny mechanism or an underground lode seeded by ancient machines. So that's where our Glimmer comes from. That's where Glimmer is coming from right now. Still from old Golden Age stashes and technology, or a tiny mechanism or an underground lode seeded by ancient machines. So that's another thing that makes Glimmer so valuable to everybody. Like, there's a limited supply. I kind of see it like oil. You know what I'm saying? For these days. Like, we could use fossil fuels for a good amount of things, but we have limited amounts. That's what I get from it. Yeah. And I guess I'm alone there?
No, I mean, yeah. I don't know if we consume it in the same capacity.
I mean, I know that personally I get maxed out on Glimmer quite often and forget to buy things with the Glimmer. Because America. But it does straight out say it there. New Glimmer. The new Glimmer comes from the reclaimed Golden Age stashes and technology. So that's stuff from the Golden Age, which we all know that the Elixni also had their own Golden Age, which maybe instead of using it for a currency, they programmed it to food, because maybe that's what they needed the most.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
But that's leading into a whole nother theory and stuff. And we're supposed to stay on the 9, so
we always get distracted by something.
yeah. And then we can't forget that that's another reason why Big O also got expelled from the tower.
Yeah, one of the reasons.
That was one of the things he was chasing, dude.
He was playing hide and seek with Zur and the 9.
That's what, it says when they're already complaining about things that he's done, I won't go into. It says, and then it got worse. Dabbling in Thantanotics, Ahamkara chasing after Zur and the tricks of the 9, which that's what it sounds like, Lou. It sounds like they're
playing hide and seek. He was playing hide and seek. He's like, how the hell are you because we know that Zur, like, no one knows how Zur gets into the tower, right? So apparently he's translocating, right? Like, that's entirely, like, there's hints that people have even tried to stop him from coming into the tower, and they can't. And so that would be a rather bit of information that I'm sure Osiris probably wants to know about. It's like, how are you doing this? Like, how are you doing what the Vex can do? And we know he's obsessed with the Vex.
Oh, absolutely. He is the Vex's version of Toland. So we don't even know exactly what has happened to Osiris at this point. Many of us assume he's alive for different reasons, but, we're thinking about doing another Osiris episode, so we'll do that then. You get that blue steel off of here, Justin. I'm watching you. Actually, that's more the stank eye right there. That's what that is.
I got it going on, okay? Don't be mad because I look good.
Peanut butter and jealous, buddy. Peanut butter and jealous.
Oh my goodness.
So what were the let's see. there was an interesting theory that I had read way back before we had really started Focus Fire about the 9, and how it tied into the Norse mythology of Ragnarok, because there is as part of Thor's death sequence, I guess you would call it, he kills Jormungand, but then he gets bitten by the serpent because he spews venom all over him in his death throes, and Thor staggers back 9 steps, and it's very specifically 9 steps before falling dead himself. And so it was just an interesting tie-in to that Norse mythology, that the 9 are we don't really know. There are 9, and there's also 9 surviving deities of Ragnarok. Let me see if I can find their names.
I think you should. You got the tarot stuff up, right? Because I totally don't.
Yeah. Well, I have the basic summary of the tarot stuff. The 9 surviving deities of Ragnarok, I'm going to butcher these names, are Balder, Hodor, Magni, and Modi, Vidar, Vali, Honor, and the daughter of Sol, and then there's a 9th powerful, mighty one, he who rules over everything. So, yeah, whatever.
Sounds like a boy band.
Confirmed.
Yeah. Well, the reason why I bring Ragnarok and that up is because, I mean, there's a lot of tie-ins in other parts of the Destiny mythos that tie into Norse mythology, and so that's just another. And it was just an interesting fact. There's a couple different. I'm looking real quick.
Yeah,
there's a couple different significant points of 9 in Norse mythology and cosmology. For example, the Norse cosmology recognizes 9 worlds that are supported by Yggdrasil. Whatever egg dragon is. Every ninth year, there was a feast for 9 days that was sacrificed both men and male animals. You know, there's a large number of instances of 9, and so like the 9 rings of Odin, Odin's ring Draupnir apparently released 8 golden drops every 9th night, forming rings of equal worth for a total of 9 rings. You know, it's just there's 9 mothers of Heimdall, which is an interesting concept. There's also the 9 great lindworms, which is a nod to the dragons there, and I know a lot of people have. I know a lot. Yeah, I know a lot of people have latched on to that one.
I don't like the way you just said latched.
No, well, it's just no. Well, not here. I mean, like on Reddit. On Reddit, oh my God, there's like every other week there's somebody who's like, "Hey, did you know that there's 9 great worms?" And it's like, yeah, we kind of read the post last week that happened in. So it's just like, you know, Odin sacrificed himself. He hung upon the gallows for 9 days and 9 nights, and so there's a large number of 9. And then, you know, Willy mentioned the tarot. In the tarot, it's an interesting thing. I think, was it Whisper that brought this up?
It was.
I think.
Yeah.
It was
So
RF
huge nod.
Whisper.
Huge
Who
nod to
is
him.
awesome, by the way.
Yeah, he is doing, or she. Internet
Whoever.
communication.
He's doing
Whisper.
that
It's
person's
doing great.
work.
Made a really cool connection with the tarot in the fact that, so we have a new item in the game called the 3 of Coins. And I won't go into my thoughts on the 3 of Coins, but in the tarot, there's actually a card, the 3 of Coins, because that's one of the hand, or one of the decks is coins, and the 3 of Coins is indication of success in the tarot deck, and then the 9 of Coins, or not, I think it's just 9. I think it's just 9 of anything is symbolic of isolation. And so that was an interesting tidbit that Whisper had brought up, and I really like the 3 of Coins nod there, because I think that was a pretty right on the nail on that one. Was that the only? I think that was the only tarot connections that we had made.
Yeah,
with this
the
conversation.
3 of Coins and the 9 of Coins. And then we have our. Ooh, we got almost an hour.
Yeah, this is unprecedented.
Well, it's just it was one of those things where it's like we don't have. I mean, we just don't have a lot on the 9.
I think I just need to stop reading the notes because I follow the game plan too much.
See how effective we can be when everyone plays on the same page.
No, I'm just saying I should stop.
I can go into the Titan Maki.
So, yeah.
I was about to say we have debates from chat and what are the 9, which of course we don't know what the hell that is exactly.
I've
we
obviously
only have our spinfoil theories.
I've got a very specific one that I'm earmarked. It's gonna happen.
Here we go.
So is it time?
Go. Just do
cool.
it.
So if you
Pain
listen
is
to
9 confirmed.
Yeah. No, that's not it. That's first of all, I will never start a theory with the words "pain is." It's just not gonna happen.
It will happen, Justin. Just give in to the dark side.
Okay, so
give in to the dark side.
I'm actually a little disappointed with myself because I've had this thing forever. Since we first started the chat, that was when I came up with what everyone knows, or at least everyone
in the chat.
Yeah. As
anyone who's listening.
The dragon theory. So I was there was this point in the Bife podcast when I said, wait, so you guys, I've got time to tell my dragon theory, and everyone was like, I don't know why not, and I felt I didn't know what to do. I was like, I was flustered. I'd never thought this would happen.
And then he accepted it.
Yeah. And then the Bife was like, that's amazing, and I was like, what? So, anyways, I was a little flustered, and I didn't present it in its full glory. So I'm gonna represent it right here. Um, I have a strong feeling that the Aham. Now, I'm not gonna go out and just say the Ahamkara are the nine. I don't think that, just like Destiny's whole flavor and the concept of the story at this point, I don't think it's as easy as saying this is this, that is that, these are these. Like, I think it's a lot more abstract than that. But I will say this: I have a theory that the nine are very strongly intertwined with the nine. I'm sorry, obviously the nine are intertwined with the nine, but the
I don't
Ahamkara.
know that they are.
Yeah, I think we can agree on that one. But the Ahamkara are pretty strongly intertwined with the nine. Um, Way back when, in the birth of the lore band, I was looking numbers, and I was really doing it for Ishtar Collective stuff. Um, re the 227 copies that got sent into the Vex network. And I was like, that's way too specific a number. There's got to be a reason it's that number. Like, I was doing square roots and pi and all kinds of crap. And somehow it just all revolved back around, like anything we do, a lot of speculative math. It comes back around to the number nine. And I landed on Chinese mythology. And Chinese mythology, the number nine is special. It's the single highest number you can achieve, which, just like in any base 10 number system, that's the true thing. And also, it's frequently connected with Chinese dragons. The number nine is.
Yes.
It usually has 117 scales. 81
Big shout out for that number right there.
117. Yeah. 81. Yeah, that's what also, just that little Easter egg right there, 117 scales. And just the fact that Bungie's magic number has always been 7 leads me to believe there's something behind this whole number 9 thing. Like, they don't just switch from 7 to 9 for no reason.
That's
but
because they're Bungie Vengeance now.
117 scales, 81 yang, 36 yin, and each one of those is a multiple of 9. 117 is 9 times 13. 81 is 9 times 9. 36 is 9 times 4. And there are 9 forms of the dragon as well. There are 9 sons of the Dragon King. Everything is 9 with dragons in China. And we know how Bungie loves to pull from real world mythology. And with the Greek mythology and some of the Egyptian stuff with Osiris and Khepri and all that. And I just feel like this is an Easter egg. I feel like this is too much to be a coincidence. And then you go back to Ghost Fragments 2, or is it Ghost Fragments? It's which one is the contradiction card? It's
Ghost Fragments America.
Yeah, Ghost Fragments America. You go back to that one. And
you mean Legends 2?
There's a couple of statements in there that really scream Ahamkara to me. And I know I went through all this when we did Ahamkara, and I know you're all listening to it again, but
he has an hour, so he's not going to stop.
I think if I don't stop talking, they won't stop me. They are that polite. The 9 are ancient.
This is like a filibuster.
It is
Nerdism.
I'm like Mr. Stroop goes to Washington. No, the 9 are ancient Leviathan intelligences. The other one that gets me is the 9 are a viral language of pure meaning. You can tell how many times I've gone over this because I haven't even got that card up yet. I'm still looking for it.
It's Legends 2, man.
Yeah. No, I'm not even.
All right, you wanted the Leviathan quote? Which 2 quotes do you want?
Yeah, do it.
All right. The 9 are ancient Leviathan intelligence from the seas of Europa or the hydrocarbon pits of Titan. And what's your other one?
No, and then the 9 are a viral language of pure meaning.
Yeah, you got that one spot on. Good job.
And then also the 9 are the one about
The
them making a
shadows left
pact.
by the...
That
Oh,
one too.
okay.
Almost
The
all
9
of
are
them.
survivors of the Sistovian colonies who made a compact with an alien force to ensure their own survival. That
Or a
one.
worm pact. I'm just saying.
Yeah.
Um,
No, and that connection's been made too.
Also, just this point, I haven't had a chance to do this yet because Blue sighs and he grabs his face every time I mention this. But I'm really interested here. Blue, Willy, what do you think about all this craziness with the number 9?
Willie, you want to go first?
What exactly do you mean by that question?
What? No, Mr. Payan. What do you believe?
All right, what do I believe? I believe that I get this. The 9, they're obviously connected with Osiris. I mean, we had that quote from Brother Vance that Osiris had stood on the sands of Europa, I believe it was.
Was it America?
I can't look at your face, Justin.
That's actually what my wife told me the other night. But it's move on.
Did you kill me? Alright, so we know Osiris is met with the 9. We also know the last place that we had seen, the last place we had seen Saint 14 is when he went to go chase after Osiris on Mercury, which we know, yeah, Blue Steel again. Yeah, god damn, darn it. Stop, Justin. This is why we don't do this on Saturdays, Blue. Because things get too out of control.
We're already thrown off by the schedule change.
And also the fact that we got through what we know in 1 hour.
Yeah. Well, that never happens.
I
just
think
for
that's
the
a
record,
proof that I should not read the damn notes anymore. I'm just gonna throw that out there.
Or maybe you should.
Oh my god.
But okay, so here it is. Saint 14 has never confirmed dead. Yeah, we have the exotic helmet from him. We also have the exotic can that Cade uses called Ace of Spades. And we can all see that Cade's not dead. So, going full spinfoil, full spin metal jacket here. Saint is with Osiris. Osiris is working with the 9 if he's not one of the 9. And also, of course, Pan would be an ambassador similar to what Zur is. So, perhaps in Destiny 2, instead of going to Zur, we're going to go to Pan.
He's going to sing us to sleep while he steals all our money?
Yeah, dude. No, he's not going to steal all our money. He's going to replace it with blues and greens and commons. Because, he's not like that. We're talking about Pan, dude. He's a badass. No. He wouldn't do that to us.
You always want to go out for drinks with him. Because he's paying.
That's right. Oh, God. No, but for me, the 9, the thing that I really do believe, because I didn't even think about it until after you see all the Zur quotes. I believe that they have a similar genetic structure as Zur does, to where they have certain cells that make them them, but at the same time they might only host bodies or even a body to have a physical form, or at least that's within our part of the solar system. I really feel that our likes are just higher up. You know what I'm saying? Like you have Guardians, and then you have the Speaker, who's not a Titan. Or, I mean, if he's anything, he's a Warlock at best. Let's be honest here. That guy, dude, so scrawny and squishy. Like, any Titan would crush him instantly. I'm just throwing that out there.
Well, and there's the theory. Well, going off that, there's that theory for him being what's his face from Eris.
He is.
That
He's not.
I can't remember his name.
Oh, Oh, that's not a terrible theory,
Yeah, I know.
honestly. Dude,
We've tossed that one around a while.
dude, how did I miss that?
No.
I don't know. You're the one that came up with it.
No,
that
honestly.
I remember.
No, you're kidding me.
You
I
and
didn't-
Glitch,
Yeah.
I think, came up with it.
Before we move off.
That was one of those better nights.
Yeah, before we move off. Blue.
Hardy, that's his name. Thank you, Pins.
Blue.
Yeah, Jacob Hardy. He was the
What's up?
pilot.
Ahamkara equals 9. Scale 1 to 10.
No.
So you're telling me I've got a chance.
I don't think. Okay, so here's the thing: is I don't think. So I think that when you're in the same capacity that I view Osiris as playing a giant game of chess, I think the 9 are playing an even bigger game. I think that your
I think they're on the same freaking board, dude, for sure.
I don't know. I guess on Osiris's level, the 9 on Osiris, I think so. Like Osiris, Mara, Sov, and the 9 might be on the same level, but they're playing a game that's significantly larger than any of us are playing right now. Like I think that they're playing with a bigger picture than we have access to currently. In the same capacity that I think that the Traveler and the Formless One are playing a game that is, 10 times that size on top of that. So I don't think now how the Ahamkara work into there. I don't know. I don't think the 9 are Ahamkara.
Yes.
I
I've Blue
don't.
saying Ahamkara.
Ahamkara.
Instead of
Aham.
Ahem sandwich.
But I don't. Chat's making fun of me for this, but
No.
I don't. I don't see them as being the same. Are they relate? I mean, it's like the question about Ahamkara and worms. I think that argument is closer than
No.
the 9 because you also have a nod to the 9 being Leviathans. It's a very, 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 very,
but
very, very
not-
thin nod, but
They're not Leviathans from the fundament.
no.
They're for either from the hydrocarbon pits of Europa or of Titan, which is
Right.
a moon of Jupiter, or of the seas of Europa. Which,
Well, and here's another. You want to speaking about moons.
Oh, you
wanna,
do it, Blue.
You
do
you
it.
want to you want a fun spinfoil theory. So what species do we know that uses moons a lot?
Oh, of course. There's
The
The
hive.
hive.
the krill.
And
the hive.
what's the hive got a pact with?
A
The
worm.
worms.
So,
I mean, let's go down this spinfoil path.
Hello?
What if the 9 are a subset of worm?
hello? Hell, I mean, you just told me I was an idiot.
Oh my goodness.
No, I'm saying, that's the thing is like that's the fascinating thing and the frustrating as hell thing about Destiny is like we have all this information and we have no information.
Well,
at the
that's,
same time.
I love it.
Oh,
Alright,
I love it.
Let me
but
get
I mean, that's
into it.
like,
I mean,
here
fine.
we go.
You guys have forced me. Let me go back to the Legends 2 card real quick. Don't worry, it won't take me as long as it took Justin.
I didn't even get there.
Unless I took Brother Vance there. In which case, then it might take me a little longer than I thought. Alright, Legends
The
2.
blind leading the
I
blind.
had my own theory on this. The 9 are deep orbit war mines who weathered the collapse in hardened stealth platforms. Okay, if we're going to go deep orbit war mines, one that we don't know whether it survived or not yet, but I'm thinking that they're bringing it in now, is Charlemagne. Charlemagne has his own vault, he has his own lore, he has his own history within the world,
Mhm.
The 9 are survivors of the Cisjovian colonies who made a compact with an alien force to ensure their own survival. That screams hive to me. I'm sorry. If
Right.
anything, I would have to say it would be one of the hive that obviously did not take a worm, like a certain somebody who's not confirmed dead.
What? No. She
So-
wouldn't come back.
No, dude, I'm telling you, dude, she is definitely gonna make a comeback. And by she, I am trying to remember her name, and I cannot do
Tao.
it for the life. Yeah, Teo.
Or Teo, however you want to pronounce it.
However you want to pronounce
words.
it, Toax.
Tax.
Tax confirmed.
Because you know the only thing you can't avoid, death and taxes.
Death.
The 9 are
Taxes.
ancient Leviathan intelligences from the seas of Europe or the hydrocarbon pits of Titan. It's not exactly a Leviathan. They say it's ancient Leviathan intelligences. So that could be a number of things. Maybe the Leviathan in a last-ditch effort sent offspring or seeds of knowledge out within. We don't exactly know.
Well, I mean, that's also assuming that there was only one Leviathan, which seems kind of
This
silly.
one, a lot of people are going to probably agree or disagree with me on. The 9 arrived in mysterious transmission from the direction of the Corona Borealis supercluster. Let's see. Who went ahead and sent themselves into forks, 227 of them to be exact, to go ahead and, go into the VEX network, which obviously extends farther than we could even comprehend, because the VEX still have information from the Usamine, who we thought were annihilated entirely to where they would be nowhere to be found other than the Book of Sorrows and the Mine of Teo. Oh, that's right. We have the Ishtar scientists. So I'm praying for Dr. Shin. Most likely.
Oh, Shim.
I
He would be a fun NPC.
Oh, dude.
Fun guest on the podcast.
He's such a jerk, dude. I would love to see.
He's so much fun.
I would love to see Shem as an NPC. But if it's not him,
he makes Cade look polite.
oh, absolutely, beyond a doubt, dude. But if it's not Shim, then I've got to go to Maya Sundaresh, or it could even be who was Maya's lover again?
Gioma.
Gioma, yeah.
Yeah, Gioma. Which we assume both of them to be female. We don't know
They
for
were.
sure.
Yeah,
but-
I think they were.
That's
Do we know for
confirmed.
sure?
Yeah,
is that
I think
confirmed?
that's confirmed. Mm-hmm.
Which, of course, nothing wrong with that. But the point is, I think it would have to be one of those two, if it's not Shim, because the rest of those Ishtar scientists didn't have a whole lot of personality. As we know, Shim had a hell of a personality, and
He made up for it.
Xiaomi, not too much of one, which is why I think she could be the traveler too, or not the traveler, but
The stranger.
the stranger. But I really think it's Maya Sundarish. But that's another story for another time. The 9 are firstborn awoken, and their minds now race down the field lines of the Jupiter low flux tube. We found that to be I'm going to say
A
it's a
gift
black hole
mass?
of sorts.
No,
Well, it looks like a gift mask.
no,
actually.
it's actually,
Yeah, that's
Yeah.
right.
and there's actually one of those between Earth and the Moon. Io is actually a moon of Jupiter, and the flux tube between Jupiter and Io is actually gravity well, between the two, and we actually have one of those between us and our moon. So this flux tube they talk about is actually, it is actually the concentration of the gravity between the two.
Yeah, and I think it's between any planet and
Exactly.
any moon.
Any
If I-
planet
I mean,
and any moon
don't-
will have a flux tube.
I'll have to defer that to Craig. We'll have to get Bell to ask Craig for us on
No,
that one.
honestly, if you
But-
looked at the Earth and our moon, it would be the Earth or the Terran Luna flux tube. Would be that
Well,
gravity
I look
well.
at that as there's only one awoken that remembers her birth. And that is the best female NPC in any game ever, Marisol. I'm sorry, dude. Yeah.
I'm
If
I'm
Mara
offended
was a thing.
for Amanda Holiday. I'm offended.
Oh, Amanda's okay. Amanda's okay.
No, y'all
I'll
can
give her a
suck it.
chance. But Mara, dude, we're talking about Mara Sov. I mean, this is Mara mother freaking soft. Yeah, Blue, you
Oh.
thought I was gonna drop an F-bomb there, didn't
Yeah.
you? Hands down, best female NPC ever, Mara
Well,
soft.
sure.
Yeah,
If you
you
just
can't
look at
argue.
if you
Now,
just look at
Mara, the
yeah.
thing about Mara is like, you know, even her witches question her, even her brood questions her, but she knows what she's doing. You think this character is really dead? You're insane. No, she's somewhere. Whether she's in the Ascendant world with um, Tolan
Like
right now.
maybe burned into the weft of what is.
No,
Huh?
I think that's her right there. I think her mind now races down the field of the lines of the Jupiter low flux tube. And I know what you're thinking. Willy, this card came out way before the Taken King did.
Well,
My answer, the Stranger, the
reasons.
Vex,
No, a lot of
time jumping.
no. You can point to time travel and prove anything. Like
Exactly. And that's why I love to bring it up, because Blue hates it.
Blue does. He really does.
Like, that's why it's quiet right now, is because he's just getting the most ear-splitting headache. Just thinking
I already
about
had
it.
one of those.
But then you have the last four. The 9 are ghosts who pierced the deep black without a ship and meditated on the hissing silence of the heliopause. Then we have that card where I know a lot of people think it's the dead orbit future if it plays out.
Mm-hmm.
But what if, once again, space magic, time travel, that ghost from that specific future made its way to our time to better learn us how to not have that happen? The 9 are aspects of the darkness, broken by the Traveler's rebuke, working to destroy us from within. Ahamkara. There you go, Justin.
Thank you.
Now, I know that Bife really blew my mind when he was on here. He said, well, what if the Ahamkara aren't worms touched by light, but what if they're the original worms touched by the darkness? My mind exploded. Right. Like, I was like, dude, that totally could happen. Like, that could be it. I could be looking at this from reverse. But from my personal theory, once again, we know how the worms are. Straight up worshippers of the darkness, the deep. But then you have the Ahamkara, who they haven't been known to grant any wishes for anybody that's serving the darkness. They helped us out. They helped out the bishops from the Harmony, but they have not helped out any servants of the darkness that we have witnessed so far. The 9 is a viral language of pure meaning. Paean. That's Paean right there.
Oh my gosh.
That's what that is. He is a viral language of pure meaning. Let's see. What is something that a majority of races recognize? Song. And I know this denounces all credibility to everything I've just said.
No, keep going. I like where this is going.
Yes, continue.
But I have no idea what the hell that means, if I'm being honest. So I'm going to fill it in with Paean.
Well, going off that concept that song is universally recognized, that is actually a large. It's a common theme in a lot of science fiction. That
it is, and that's why I did
song
that.
Song is the universal communication between species and between races and between civilizations of different technological advancement too.
And then, of course, we have the last one. The 9 are shadows left by the annihilation of a transcendent shape, burnt into the weft of what it is. All right, are you guys ready for this one?
Let's hear it.
Chelchis is alive, confirmed.
Wow, that's a leap. But let's hear the rest of it.
Wait, yeah, let's
hear the
back
rest.
that up a little bit. Where?
Beep, beep, beep.
All right, once again. The shadows left by annihilation of a transcendent shape, burnt into a weft of what it is. Let that sink in. I mean, we have the broken crown, which I think that heavily hints toward that's part of Chelchis. It says something along the lines of the Elixni, or might say the Fallen, still sing songs at Chelchis, the Kellstone. We also have Where's the Great Machine? Where's the Great Machine from the Duma Chelchis. At the same time, you have the fusion rifle from the raid, which I'm going to try to look up. If somebody can get there before me, that would be great.
Mita's Revenge?
No, not the Mita's. Okay, so it has to be the one with the Awoken.
Fusion rifle.
No, that's not the Awoken, though, because Mita is the Consort of Stars.
No, I'm just saying that's the fusion rifle. If you're looking for the Awoken one, there's... I don't know which one would be the Awoken one.
I want to say it's the... I wanted to say...
Oh, I'm sorry. It's the sniper rifle. It's the Defiance of Yasmin. Yasmin was a paladin.
The paladin, yeah.
Man, you're making me stretch here, Willy. This is the beauty of going live. It's the beauty of going live and outrunning your notes.
Yeah, I mean, we're just going to keep going into different stuff, brother.
Do you want the flavor text of that one?
Yes.
Yeah, go ahead, Justin. You looked it up.
You want me to do it?
Do it.
Shields up, protect the queen, brace for impact, save the queen. It's Defiance of Yasmin.
And then you have the Telesto card, which says vestiges of the Queen's Harbingers yet linger among Saturn's moons. Public key 023629 DWS Regale from Paladin Kamala Rior, Paladin Command TF 5.3 to Acting Regent Petrevenge. Subject SNR report Saturn 8. Expanded search of Saturn's nearby moons produced only one notable discovery. A cloud of Harbinger matter collected around Saturn's 13th moon. Designation Telesto. A sample is enclosed for examination. Still no signs of primary objectives. Continue survey of the remaining 100 kilometer .3 of space is underway. But as an Armada Paladin of the Awoken, it is my duty to officially recommend declaration of the death of the following: Paladin Yasmin Eld, Paladin Leona Briel, Paladin Abrazir, Paladin Babel Nog, Tekun Shuro, Tekun Sita, Tekun Kali, and the Awoken Queen Marisol. Notice as the acting regent commander, it is not your duty to actually declare these deaths at this time. Message ends. So that I found rather interesting. Paladin Yasmin Eld was actually there with Mara when all this crap went down with the Dreadnought. Is that not interesting or what? Like, come on, guys. That's something that just happened. Like, just
right.
Just
but that would explain the flavor text from the sniper. Right.
It would, but at the same time, I guess I shouldn't say we. I believe that the Queen made it. I believe that whole group made it. If not the whole group,
not the whole group.
They had minimal casualties. Exactly.
Minimal casualties.
Minimal casualties. SOB. You make it so hard to behave yourself. Don't laugh at me, Blue. This is why we don't do this on Saturdays, okay? This is why we don't do this on Saturdays.
This is also why we don't have Willy read notes.
Oh, my God, Willy. He's OP tonight. Bungie, please nerf. Um,
All right. So that's my thing. Is it could very possibly be that, long story short, TLDR, the nine could indeed be nine different entities. Whether they are or aren't, maybe they're pieces of all the same. We don't know. But I
I've
will let. I don't think Blue did his own spinfoil yet.
Yeah, do it, Blue. If you don't have one, I've got one.
I did it.
Well, Justin.
I did it like
take
in the
it
middle
away,
of the
Fred.
show, so I
No,
didn't have to
Yeah,
wait
no,
until
I've got
afterwards.
another one because
Okay. Oh, good lord.
if one
Okay, go for
if
it.
one really far-fetched theory isn't enough, just make two, and either you'll be wrong twice or you'll be right once. But I've got this feeling that just that whole Ghost Fragments, Legends of the Nine, the contradiction card. I feel like Bungie's trolling us with that. I think they want us to argue and be like,
I don't-
one of these is right and one of them and the rest of them are wrong. Like,
But I mean, so just to interject on that one, that's what makes me really think the way I read it as like snippets from different people in the universe. That's why I think that's what it is.
but
Because if you've ever, I mean, I can pull up examples of DM guides where like they have that exact type of like contradictory information.
like a choose your own adventure book.
It's kind of, well, yeah, for the dumb people, yeah, sure, that's what D&D
Oh,
is. But
really?
no, but I mean, like
Wow.
that's what like a
That
gather
just
information check. Well, okay, but that's what a gather information check would give you in D&D, and like in a general like public area. Is it would look the card that you give a DM would look something like that card. It would be like, hey, pick one of these, and one of these rumors is what this person hears.
All
And
right,
it could lead to something, or it could lead to nothing.
Well, yeah.
And that's
All right,
why I read that
so
card that way.
let me ask you guys this then. Given what we know about Zur, the way that he has cells that can remember if they don't remember, because his body is a different one, the nine will remember it for him. What do you feel the chances are that they are a being, so more like it, like Zur? Like they have a body, but it cells from all these different experiences.
I think that they are transcendents. I don't think they have a body.
Yeah. I'm with
I think they exist on a realm above the physical realm.
But
It could be.
what I was trying to get at. Oh, sorry.
No.
No,
what
by
I
all
was
means,
trying to
Justin.
what I was trying to get at was that there may actually be a timeline where each of these things is 100% literally true. Time travel might be a factor.
Oh yeah, I remember. No, you and Laura were talking about that. Yeah, no.
Yeah.
I mean,
He says, "Yeah, no."
Yeah, no. I mean,
this
I
was
remember it
just
being
like
said,
this
but
was
this is
just a
bullcrap.
giant. This was a giant pain in my head. This is the reason I hate time travel and multiverse theories, because the instant you start talking about multiverses, it's like, yeah, everything is actually technically possible, because the entire concept of a multiverse is basically everything is possible.
And that really screws with Blue.
I don't like
Well,
it
I
because
mean,
I try to wrap my head around all of it and
Look
be
at
like,
the
yeah,
stranger cards,
no,
Blue. I mean, it's definitely there.
I don't want to.
Yeah.
Like, she's definitely said, "Oops, I'm not
You
supposed to
know.
be here yet."
Yeah,
Okay, this is where I'm supposed to be. I see
this is why I hate time travel.
Yeah, exactly. I mean,
I love it, but I hate it at the same time.
yeah, because it brings up so many possibilities, but that makes narrowing things down so much harder.
Impossible.
Exactly. I feel your pain there, Blue. Like, I'm right there with you. Like, every time I read, especially the newest Stranger card, where she actually documents where she's at what time, like, it's like, oh, God, dude, it's such a migraine. But you try to break it down.
Just to throw a curveball on that one, that's assuming that there's only one stranger.
Why you gotta do that?
See, I'm not the only one that can cause headaches.
Why do you got to do that, man? Oh.
But I mean, that's the thing is like when you
there
start
doesn't have
doing
to be
time
either.
travel. Yeah, no, but I mean, but when you start doing time travel, depending on when that entity gained the ability to time travel, that at any given point they could jump through a time loop, right? So you can have multiple instances of the same person. However, on top of that,
Forks.
you also have that's what I was just about to say. On top of that, you also have the 227 forks running around doing stuff as well, technically.
And that's
So-
I want to say 4 different Ishtar scientists.
Yeah, of 4, yeah. So you have 227
227 times
versions
4.
times 4. Because, that's a fun number to keep in the back of your head.
Oh, yeah.
And,
I
we
wanna
wonder
say
why
it's
these Ishtar
1000
people went insane.
1008. No, it's like
227 times 4? I used to know this by heart.
227 times 4. 880, 90,
908.
908. Yep.
So,
What
yeah,
was
I mean...
Willy using? An abacus?
I do use an abacus. You got a problem with it?
You could hear the...
Was he moving mahjong tiles? Like, how was that?
Hey, at least I was trying. What were you doing with your life, Justin? What were you doing?
Is this where you want to be when Jesus comes back?
Yeah,
No.
is this where you want
This
to
is
be
not-
with Jesus?
This is not where I want to be when Pan comes back. I'm just saying.
That's right.
Oh, my
That's
goodness
right.
gracious.
Do you want Pan to see you like this, Justin? How do you think he would feel about you acting like this right now?
Oh, my goodness. So, I thought this would be a great time for us to take some questions from the chat.
Oh,
they
my
have it.
God.
Do we have some?
No, I'm just. You guys go ahead. I'm just gonna try to get.
Oh, you said
Oh,
questions
my
from the
God.
chat like we had questions. Do we
Yeah,
have questions?
Pan asks, "Am I here? Do I exist?"
Yes, Pan, you're here and you do exist. But you're
And then
somewhere
hear about the
else and
Zerb?
you still exist.
And if so,
Figure that out.
There's a lot of dialogue from Zur, actually. Manbag wants to hear some dialogue from Zur.
oh yeah, okay, I'm on it.
Oh, good lord.
Oh,
There's
man.
like pages of this. You want me to just start reading
Yeah,
it?
no. First of all, I want to let everyone know where they can find this stuff. So, we always talk up Ishtar Collective, and they're the best. Like as far as bulk Grimoire, the way that Bungie puts it out, they consolidate it and they put all your items with all the relevant subject matter, and it's awesome. But if you want NPC quotes,
Or quest quotes.
or quest quotes or anything like that, the place to go is the place I originally used when we started the podcast, which is Destinypedia. And if you look up a particular subject, like in this case, I'm gonna look up Zur in Destinypedia, you will get a couple different categories, which will be year 1 inventory, year 2 inventory, and then you'll get quotes, and you'll get everything that this weirdo has ever said in the tower. Or in the
And there's a lot.
And there's a whole lot. So, Blue,
And
with
Blue
that
is-
small qualifier, I'm going to
Yep.
let you move on.
Oh, God. All right, first one is So Lonely Here. Second one is I Am Only an Agent. The 9 rule beyond the Jovians. Third one is I cannot explain what the 9 are. They are very large. I cannot explain. The fault is mine, not yours.
Oh, my God, Blue. Can I read one?
Yes.
Oh. Okay.
Are you reading the fourth one?
There are no birds where I came from.
Oh.
The
No.
things that fly are like shadows. Or dragons, sir. Are they like
Oh,
dragons?
my God.
Or
Oh,
like
that's
crows.
awesome.
Are there
They
crows?
might be crows. I don't know. They're like shadows.
I don't know. Like, it depends. If he's from Jupiter, I don't know.
Continue as you work.
Okay. The fourth is, I think it is very possible that I am here to help you. And the fifth is, each mote of dust tells a story of ancient Earth. And then what is this? The sixth? I have lost count. I think the cells of this body are dying. The next one is, I do not entirely control my movements. After that is, some of the cells in this body began on this world. How strange to return.
Which is
And
one of my favorites.
Yeah, that's one of Willy's favorites. Justin's
And then
favorite.
Justin's is right afterwards.
And then the next one is, I understood my mission when the 9 put it in me, but now I cannot articulate it.
That's what she said. I'm sorry.
Yeah, I just, and you know what stands out for me on that one is the entire Harbinger conversation.
Yeah, put it in a dying thing and
Put it in a dead thing.
Yeah.
Was it? Yeah, and so that just makes...
Take the children and plant them into a dead thing.
Right.
And so they may have children of their own.
The next Zur quote is, this is but one end. The next one is, these inner worlds are very strange. After that is, my movements are to a significant degree dependent on planetary alignments.
Which is very interesting.
Yeah, that's a very interesting
like
one too.
Zigzagging much?
Zigzaggy. Zigzaggies.
Says Gigi.
Zur is the zigzaggy, confirmed. The next quote is, I feel a great many consciousnesses impinging on mine, and all of them so small and lonely. Which makes me really think Zur is a part of a collective.
Yeah, and especially the one after
like
that
a hive mind. Right.
You know.
And then bodies, and then the next quote is, bodies come and go, but the cells remember.
Yeah.
And if they forget, the 9 remember it for us.
And that's what I was saying, dude. Like, what if that is what the 9 is? A little bit of the Leviathan, a little bit of Mara, a little bit of...
Oh, you're saying like a literal, like they've collected memories via cells of different things.
Exactly. Of these specific... That's what I was trying to say earlier. That's what the 9 is. The Imperial leader, boss, chieftain, whatever have you. But, yeah, Justin, that face is too perfect. Damn it, Justin.
It's easy.
No,
there's a bunch of really interesting ones here.
All right, so the next one is, my function here is to trade. I know this. Next one is, I have told you what I can. Next one is, if I am here, it is the 9 who sent me. I may be here, which is a funny one. May we speak? So much light here, I suppose I feel pain. Which is interesting.
Yep.
And then, please. And then, I love that. They document like everything that he says. So some of these are kind of not really useful. Then the next one is, beyond even the outer worlds, the true deep begins. And that's a nod to, what was that called? The shell?
Yeah.
Do you remember what that one was, what that term was? I can't remember off the top of my head.
Oh, are you talking about the heliopause?
Yeah, that one. The heliopause.
Which
I
is
know
the
the
wind.
next one is great.
Is the windbreak of the solar wind. Yeah.
Right. And then the next one is, my movements are not predictable, even to me. That must be fun for him, because...
Absolutely.
I feel like that's me.
Like, that's why that door doesn't open in the reef. Because he's like, oh crap, I'm here. Oh, I'm sorry, guys. The door's inaccessible. Like, what do you want me to do?
I don't know. It's not my fault.
Now I'm on Earth. Okay, here, buy stuff.
Honestly, there's one that really intrigues me. And it is, your traveler has a dark mirror.
Mirror. Yeah. The other one is, the Awoken did not have a choice, we did.
Yeah, so that almost kind of contradicts the whole, the 9 are the Awoken quote.
Well, but I mean, okay, but that's the point. Like, if you go through that Legends 2 card, you can find contradictions to itself, like, in these quotes. So, like, he says the 9 rule... Oh, where was it? The 9 rule beyond the Jovians, and the Legends 2 calls them cis-Jovians.
Yeah, this side of
Those
the
are
Jovians.
opposite. That's
Yeah.
opposite sides of the planet. Like, it's...
Well,
There's
here's
a lot
the
of
really
contradictions
interesting
on
part for Zur. We came up from the dust and burrowed into flesh for warmth and became something new. Think about that when you think about that one card where the children have to bury themselves into dead things and
dead things.
have children of their own.
Well, I
Yeah,
mean,
dude.
also, but it was the nine who gave us purpose, and it was the nine who keep us whole.
That's true as well. So it's like the nine are there. Once again, that goes back to my
And
chieftain theory.
right, and here's the point against them being worms. Well, not against them being worms, but being against the darkness is the quote, "For organic life to exist, it requires constant adaptation." If you really look at the worm pack that the krill made, the fact is that it defies adaptation because they are frozen into their state, into what they are. Right? They can technically adapt, they can evolve, but they don't have to. They can, as long as they stay true to their current nature, right? They can continue to exist in immortality. And so Zur's quote right there seems to contradict the entire worm pact,
It
at
does.
least to me.
Dude,
Yeah, well,
Blue, you're onto something there, dude.
the worm
Well,
pack.
but that was the whole conversation we had about them being abominations, because naturally, immortality is in and of itself an abomination to the natural world.
Yeah, it's a artificial parasitic endosymbiosis.
Right. Well, but even more so, the immortality aspect of it is them being frozen into what they are currently. They don't have to evolve. They just are going to always. It's the same thing as a vampire, right? A vampire doesn't age, doesn't change, doesn't have to do anything. It just sucks the life out of other creatures, and that's why a lot of supernatural cults view vampirism as as a abnormal or a abomination, I guess is the word I'm looking for, is because it defies that natural need to adapt and evolve in order to survive. And so that's that quote from Zur actually points out what I was thinking when I read the Worm Pact is the Traveler seems to, this kind of goes into the light against the dark thing. The Traveler and the light, when they talk about, that, not really the timid truth, but the whole Leviathan speech about, hey, don't continue, you're going to find death and ruin and blah, blah, blah. And their entire temper tantrum about, well, this is better than what we are existing above. And his entire thing is like, well, no, but it's the natural world is what you're leaving. You're going into a place that isn't natural, and you're going to become an abomination.
Just look at Justin's shout outs. Holy crap.
There's the other aspect of Willy reading notes.
Yes. Oh
No,
my God.
I was actually looking at another quote from Zur that says, "The pull of the outer worlds is so faint here. The sun is so heavy," which makes it seem like it hurts him to be near the sun, right?
Right. Well, and that's the earlier quote about so much light here, I suppose I feel pain.
Yeah, exactly. But then he contradicts himself when he says, "I came for the light, perhaps, to understand the light."
Well, and here's the way I read it. Actually, is I read that I came for the light as the capital light, the actual the light that gives us power.
Right.
Whereas I read the so much light here as lowercase light, like just sunlight. I don't read that as the same, because everything has a dual meaning in Destiny, like light and then light. I don't know how to emphasize the difference there, but there's a lowercase light and then there's a uppercase light. I read the so much light here, I feel pain as him just talking about the natural sunlight, and then him coming for light to understand light as the light given by the Traveler.
The light is capitalized for the so much light here.
I disagree with that one.
And Destinypedia does have it as for light, like light.
Right, and I will just make the point, I disagree with that particular view, and I mean they even have it different on different sites. There's a couple different sites that have it listed differently as well. So,
well, then we have, I do like their definition of light. The light, otherwise simply referred to as magic, is a type of force. Is a
it's
type
paracausal.
of force. that stems from the traveler. All living things possess some of light, as a spark of life is light in itself. Will and 10 hypothesized that all light is connected, later confirmed when Guardians discovered the hive siphoning light from the traveler through a piece of itself. The light is antipathic with the hive, though they are known to feed on it and offer it as a sacrifice to their gods. Guardians are the rare few able to wield the light as a weapon. Additionally, born to the traveler itself, the light was used to construct ghosts. Orbs of light may be also found, which give power to a Guardian super, their ultimate use of light. Light as used by Guardians comes in 3 different varieties. These are the elemental damage modifiers, and are used in both the Guardian's chosen subclass and in some certain weapons. Which, we had more weapons in year 1, but I won't go there.
No more primaries.
No, there was Zalo, which, granted, it's an exotic, but that's like the only primary with... Thing? Dude, I love the Zalo, so shut your mouth.
The Halo gun.
Zalo Supercell does rock, especially when you have an Arc Nightfall to take down. But you look at all that, and that just brings back everything we've discussed with Toland, Osiris, and we've been discussing it with Titans, I believe, as well recently as well. Chat. Like, the Guardians are the ones who you control how you wield the light. Like, the Striker Titans obviously tend to lean toward the arc and go to pierce the wall from the enemy so everybody else can get through. You have Defender Titans who will protect their allies with the light, with that so awesome bubble, because Defender Titan Master Class and Subclass while we're at it. And then, of course, we have the Hammer of Soul Titan.
Next week's going to be unbearable. I'm just going to go on record as saying that.
Oh, dude. I could get into Titans all day. I can't wait for that.
But I
you
did want to say
such
something.
A mistake with it.
No, we didn't. You deserve your day in the sun, Willie. You deserve that. It's just it's just not today. So I did want to make a point about light and a Guardian's use of it, and this is way off topic, but I think we're there. I feel like the light is constantly moving between a point of high potential to a point of low potential. So it moves from light to dark, and then it makes a giant circuit back. So honestly, I think each one of us, each Guardian, is like a conductor of light. And just like an electrical conductor, each different material conducts electricity or current differently. A copper wire will conduct it differently from an aluminum wire, or from a tungsten wire, from any other number of different elements. And I think this is where we get the diversity in our uses of the light. And I won't go any farther because this isn't focused fire light.
I'm sure we're going to go ahead and
we're going to go into it.
Yeah, next week I'm sure we're definitely going to go into it, since we got such a broad view to go into with Titans being the subject.
Well, and we'll need to explain it just like we did on the Hunter episode as well.
Exactly. But I do want to point out the light is the Force confirmed. I'm just going to say that.
Oh yeah, definitely. I mean, to bring it back into the 9 conversation, we know that they are looking at it. We know that they are curious about it. You have the strange coins. You have Zur, who basically admits that, he's there to research it. It just, to me, that everything is focused around the light and how to use it. Well, and that makes sense, given that the light is the life force of the cosmos, basically. Even the worms are after the light.
Well, they're after it to eat it.
So, Yeah, so this is actually the point where Willie usually shuts us down, but since it's a weekend, he's playing it aloof.
A wee bit, but yeah, I guess we can shut it out
Yeah,
now.
I mean, we can probably roll it in, but I mean, so that was kind of the bringing it back in. We can roll into the shoutouts. Willie, you got
I thought you
you
wanted to
got.
do I thought you were first, Blue.
I can do
Um,
first. We actually have two official supporters now, Stormcrow and Earfan6. Thank you so much.
Y'all are awesome.
Um,
Y'all are awesome.
so as
Amazing.
promised, that is your shout out is this episode.
And
we
and
really appreciate it.
official supporters emblem coming. It's a thing.
Justin's being lazy.
I'm not.
We'll get him sent to you.
I'm not gonna even go there with the laziness talk. I think I've got like 8 different things I'm supposed to be doing at the moment, but.
And then also my second shout out, obviously, most people will probably know, I'm also helping start back up the DoD official podcast. We are doing that on Fridays
Awesome.
at 9 p.m. Central on the DoD podcast, or the DoD Twitch channel, which is twitch.tv/Dads of Destiny.
And we can get you guys on podcasts as well, right, buddy?
Yes, and we are going to be doing a Podbean. I'm kicking them right now to get the Podbean page set up.
Yeah.
But I think we got it set up. So it's dodpodcast.podbean.com for that. So if you have any interest in that, please swing by and give them some support. And then I will hand that off to Justin.
So, big shout out, DoD Shadow White crew. Our ranks have grown. We got a lot of new members looking to do a lot of new stuff. It's been really good doing the old raids with the new members. It's awesome. Did I say new raids with the old members? I meant old raids with new members. But no, also, Legends of Destiny. My name is Bife. You're awesome. The Fallen video was great. It paints such a good picture for me. When I read the Grimoire now, that's what I see. And then all the YouTube subscribers and viewers who saw the Making of the War Minds video, I have a specific call to you guys. Give me some. This is my first YouTube video, so give me some feedback. Let me know, should I talk more? Should I talk less? Should it be faster? Should it be slower? Just let me know what's going on, because I have no idea anything about that. New medium for me, completely. And then my what? Then, of course, my last shout out, because I ran a little long, apparently, is to Mr. Porter Thomas Sampson, one of our clan members, Shadow White clan member, just had his first baby boy. It's his first child. And
Congratulations.
Stidelios.
Definitely huge congratulations to him.
Yes, Stiddles, who's followed us and been a pretty big supporter of mine. So I just wanted to say a few words. Porter Thomas Sampson, you're going to see a lot of things that you won't understand. Guard your light. May your days be long, your worries be few.
And drink a lot of coffee.
And may the best of your yesterdays be the worst of your tomorrows. And I wish you all the best that this world can bring. Absolutely adorable baby. Stid, you're a boss. Stud Delio did it again. And I'm going to hand it off to Willie.
All right, big shout out, of course, to Foxtrot, because DoD Foxtrot X1 is my baby. Been in there for a long time, helped create it. Wouldn't imagine myself playing Destiny or pretty much any other game without it. A few shout outs that Justin forgot that I won't add in there. But you read your notes, buddy.
I tried. I missed 2 of it, didn't I?
You sure did. I want to throw a shout out to everybody that actually joins us. Pens, I think Cook, Reverend Cook, actually joins us each week. We have a lot of folks that get to actually enjoy Justin's little slideshow that he does each week for the chat, which is awesome. And thanks for joining us live. course, Justin and Blue, because I don't really feel like this would be the same without you guys. I mean, hell, one of us disappeared on Wednesday, and we're like, we got to reschedule for Saturday because
the internet broke because Blue was
dude.
gone.
I mean, my mind was blown, Blue. I was like, what the hell? Blue's not here. What are we gonna do? Red team go. Red team go. There's a guy in the bushes. Get him.
I felt like I was a sailor and the North Star disappeared. Blue's what? He's not working. He's down. How bad is it?
Thank God that we didn't get that stream going, dude, because, oh my goodness. It was so bad. And then, of course, shout out good old-fashioned America. Because America.
Because
yeah.
reasons.
No, because America, heck yeah. That's why.
And as always, our final sign-off is, the lore band will continue to march on.